the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now.
McGrath for the win. He got it. If you don't like college football and you watch this one, I'm not sure what your problem is.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Sunday, July 9th, episode 475. We are getting scary close to 500. I'm sick of being just ideas, guys. I want to be do it, guys. So
I'm also dude, this is the off season. I mean,
it is, yeah. We're just
I texted you today and I was like, what are we going to talk about?
Yeah, and we'll
figure it out.
I almost did I say it? I almost said this might be a more important issues after dark kind of time.
It should be.
There's really nothing going on unless you're in a dynasty fantasy football league, because my phone has been blowing up today with trade talk. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really in the mood to talk trades. And also, we won last year, so why do I need to trade?
Right.
So I don't know exactly. I mean, if it ain't broke, baby. But yeah, it is off season. I do want to give a special shout out to every child that is going to be born in the state of Tennessee, Knoxville area, maybe even beyond, because Vol fans are everywhere. Happy birthday! Your parents are madmen. They celebrated Alabama in the best way, I think.
Has it been 9 months?
Yeah, 9 months and here in just a few days.
Oh wow!
If my math's correct. And I believe it is, because I was bored the other day driving, so I did the math. But yeah, so that's very exciting. Your name, whether it's on your birth certificate or not, will be Chase, Hendon, Jalen, or Brew. I'll allow Darnell. I'll allow Byron. I will allow Josh. The simple stuff. I'll allow that.
What about Hypo?
I think that would be a good middle name. That's a good middle name for sure. Yeah. I'll even allow just like the basic Nealand. Like, I'll even allow that. That's okay too.
Okay.
That's good. Goalpost would be a really good one. I think you have to be born in a certain type of community to have that name, but that's a good name.
Nature Center.
Similar type of area. Yeah. It definitely has a quarry around it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's but yeah, it's been 9 months. It's kind of crazy because I relive that moment almost every day.
Feels like yesterday.
I know y'all can call me crazy, stupid. You can say my life has been boring and lame, and I mean, as a Vol fan, you're not wrong. That is 100% the highlight of it. But yeah, that's happy 9 months to you folks.
Yeah, props. Also, congrats. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Shout out to Josh Heupel, getting every man laid that night.
Yeah, I mean, what a ultimate wingman right there.
For sure. Yeah. He saw that tattoo. The tattoo of him smoking maybe more than a cigar. Someone who made a baby that night needs to just present him like the Lion King to that, like present the baby to Josh. Like, you essentially made this.
Yeah.
Like, you had a hand in this.
Cut off the leg and give him the leg.
Yeah, just give him any body part he wants. He's the man. I think that would be better than a tattoo if I'm Josh Heupel.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be many Henrys or Hanks.
No, I gotta think that name's tainted, if you will.
Yeah.
Maybe
Bryce.
If you work at a delivery unit, let me know what the birth rates are like here in the next month or so.
Oh god, it's gonna be terrible being a delivery doctor.
Are July birthdays common? How common are they?
I don't know. My wife's in July.
See if you can look that up. Like, see what the most common birthdays 1 to 12, and give me the month. So just tell me what July is. I'm very curious, and then I'm curious to know what it's like here in looking back on this year. Yeah, and that's talking babies with more important issues.
July second most. Okay.
Wow. Okay, we're going for first here. Go Vols.
Yeah, just got to get one more
for sure. We are gonna fill some.
It could be August. I feel like they're shooting for July. It just went a little over.
It's possible, yeah. As far as I understand, I don't know a lot about pregnancy.
It was way back in there. They had to dig it out.
I think it's possible for sure. we are going to fill some content with more than just baby talk, but it is a slow time. It is what it is. What are you going to do? It is. I mean, turn it on the background. Don't mute it. Keep us going. There is
some breaking news, I guess.
Yeah, go ahead and do it. Breaking news. Do it.
Yeah. So breaking news: Tennessee has another first-round draft pick in right-handed pitcher Chase Dollander, who gets selected 9th overall to the Colorado Rockies. He will join former teammate Jordan Beck, who was a first-round pick last year. Also, should be a Hall of Famer. He hasn't been selected yet, but should be Todd Helton. So that organization has been pretty good for the Vols. Now, as a pitcher, not 100% sure. Mile High City. Sure, the exit velo there is a little higher, but whatever. It's good for him. Really, before the season, he was talking to be like, could be 1-2 up there, and just had some inconsistencies, and there was that team dealt with a lot. So I'm sure some of that had to do with it, and he did kind of find his own later on in the season, and obviously the talent was there. He was the SEC Pitcher of the Year last year, and I know he wasn't as dominant as Paul Skeens was this year, but he's going to be a really good prospect for the Rockies, and you got to have good pitchers there.
Yeah, for real.
If not, it's going a long ways. So, good for them and good for Chase, friend of the pod.
Shout out.
So, that is our that's our first round draft pick that's been on the pod. So, shout out.
Wow, look at us. Dude, I'm not saying we had a hand in it, but he wasn't a first round draft pick before he came on the show.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
That's just facts.
That's true. Man.
Yeah.
They grow up
Congrats,
so fast.
Dude. They do.
Yeah, we did it.
Congrats. That's me high-fiving you. Yeah, of course.
I appreciate it.
That is breaking news, but we are going to talk about the MLB draft tonight and as it goes on. First and second round tonight?
Yep.
There may be another wall taken while we're on here. Well, possible. Depends on how long we go. I don't know. Stick with us.
We'll see.
Also, we did have a hand in getting Chase drafted, obviously. After he was on the pod, he became a first rounder, not before that. And then I'm also in Denver this weekend, so I swung by the clubhouse, let upper management know what the deal is, and they settled. They decided, he's our guy at 9.
Yeah, you put in a good word.
Absolutely.
Put in the what do they call those little suggestion boxes?
Referral. Yeah.
Yeah. You did that. Good for you.
More than a suggestion box. I was in the office. It was like
you were
Moneyball.
the suggestion box.
Correct. I mean, I was essentially Jonah Hill in Moneyball, where he's on the phone with Francone.
Yes.
Yeah, that was me. But we will fill some content. We're going to talk best SEC stadiums. That was a debate on Twitter. I'm going to share one of my fails with you during that time too, because it's just excellent. But I'm kind of like interested. I'm going to go with this from a not. Well, I mean, there's obviously going to be some Tennessee, but like away from a Vol fan. We'll get into it. If you have some questions, drop them in the chat. We do have some that we're going to get to and answer. But if you've got any more throughout the show, go ahead, put them in there. If you've already put them in, I'm really sorry. I'm just pulling up Twitter now. Before we get into the full show, I do want to tell you all about our good friends over at Underdog. Underdog is Knoxville's best sports collectible store with a wide selection of UT cards, autographs, and memorabilia. Whether you're looking for a Peyton Manning autographed helmet or the most recent Topps baseball card release, you'll find it at Underdog. The shop is owned by UT graduates and proudly supports UT sports by hosting NIL events throughout the year. Stop by the plaza that they're right next to. What's the name of that fitness center? I don't work out, so I don't know.
Club 4.
Club 4. I almost said Club 3, but they're one better than Club 3. They're Club 4. And they're right next to Underdog, which makes them the best. Underdog has expanded, so make sure you go check out their new selection. They're adding they've always had like the Pokemon cards and any type of playing cards you could want, from sports to Pokemon and whatnot, and even some soccer ones. I know that's a sport, but I feel like soccer trading cards is not a thing, really.
Yeah.
That's cool. But now they've got comic books and collectibles in that realm. So growing, expanding, getting better, bigger by the day. They're open 6 days a week with live YouTube shows 3 nights per week. Remember to always bet on the underdog. Shout out to Underdog Collectibles.
Yeah, and they had a expo this weekend in Nashville, so really cool stuff, really good content from that, and got to meet up with Lee Smith, and yeah, they're just rolling. So
Lee Smith and Dawson Knox, correct?
yeah, so we're gonna hopefully get over there soon and maybe do a live show, maybe do some card breaks finally.
Finally.
So yeah, a lot of stuff in the works there. So go check them out. I do want to mention this since we're just kind of on the topic of MLB Draft because it's happening as we speak.
Right.
So if views are down, that's why. It's not the off season. It's
no,
MLB Draft.
It has nothing to do with us.
Yeah. I don't think Tony V is scheduled to be on. Maybe he makes a special appearance. Maybe people are just watching out for that.
That seems like a programming mistake to me.
Yeah. Just if you want viewers, get it. We get Tony V on all the time, so or at least we mention his name. I guess we could just post a picture of him, and
we could.
Literally, he's just on every show.
Actually,
he is.
Will you drop a logo? He is. He's on the intro. If you go grab a picture of Tony V on the internet, and in the logo column, just put it there, and then just put it on the episode.
Okay.
Instant tick up.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, Joey or Dylan, whoever's available to do that.
That's the fourth first rounder that Tony V has developed at Tennessee. Garrett Crochet, Drew Gilbert, Jordan Beck, and now Chase Dolander. So really good stuff. Just, man, the talent's been
that's pretty crazy. We've always talked about building this program and where it was at. For any program, that's pretty big. But to do that, the state of the program Tennessee was in, that's and how fast he's done it, that's insane.
Yeah. He's done a phenomenal job, and there's some more kind of draft scares, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. There's obviously Vols going to be drafted. Our good friend Jared Dickey, who came on the show last episode. So if you missed that, please go check that out. Really good stuff from our good friend there. And he'll get his name called. It could be tonight.
Could be.
Yeah. If somebody just wants an absolute
Should
baller.
Be. Yeah.
Take
I like that he's being kind of prospected as a hitter. That's it. Just a hitter.
Just an athlete. Yeah. They'll figure it out. Yeah. you just want that guy in your lineup for sure. Maui Ahuna, Seth Halverson, Andrew Lindsay are kind of the Vols right in there. And then Zane Denton possibly could be thrown in there. But so you're going to have a couple of guys. I think there was 10 drafted on last year's team. Shouldn't be that many. But I think you will see at least 5 out of this class. So, and possibly Zane Denton. You got some JUCO transfers that, are a scare. I'm trying to think of who they are. Ryan Galaney is a transfer from Wofford that is a scare. They'll be waiting to see kind of where he goes. Alex Perry and Bradkey Lowry, I think that's how you say it. Maybe. And then Carson Rucker and Matthew Dallas. So left-handed pitcher Matthew Dallas, stud. Carson Rucker, yes, younger brother of former Tennessee third baseman Jake Rucker, is a scare as well. So we'll see kind of where they end up. I think it definitely helps Tennessee that Jake Rucker ended up at Tennessee and he's doing just fine in the minors. But it's wherever they're slotted. Are they overvalue, undervalue? What team just kind of goes after them, and if they want them to sign, they're going to make them an offer where it's going to be hard not to. So, we'll kind of see kind of where things play out. But Ryan Galaney, obviously the Vols we mentioned that we'll hear their name drafted. Carson Rucker, and those JUCO transfers to see. Those are kind of the scares. I think there's some other signees that could possibly hear their name called, but I don't think they're as big of a worry that Carson Rucker and Matthew Dallas is.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious now. It makes it less interesting now that he transferred, but a guy like Chase Burns, who was kind of on the cusp of going out of high school, opted to go to Tennessee. Obviously, it worked out for him. Like it did. Like that. His draft stock's risen. Like he's going to get a nice payday next year. And so I wondered, like, for guys, obviously there's a line where you're going. Like, there's not a question. But the guys that are kind of on that, maybe not. Maybe NIL definitely is going to play a part, but also can I improve my stock?
Yeah,
I mean, they did that with Chase Burns.
I think Christian Moore was kind of a scare.
Yeah.
He made it to campus. He's playing for Team USA. It definitely worked out. Jordan Beck and Drew Gilbert are two other guys. That,
is he still playing? Is he on the same Team USA as Drew Beam?
So he was when they played Chinese Taipei, and now they went to Washington. So I think they cut down the roster.
Okay.
And I think just Drew Beam is on this roster.
I was about to say, I saw a roster. It was from when they were in Washington, and I did not see Christian Moore's name. So I was trying to figure out how that worked.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think they cut it down a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, that's kind of the MLB draft. Hopefully we hear some names tonight, but if not, you'll see them tomorrow. I can't remember how many rounds are tomorrow. Maybe through 3.
How many rounds? It's what, 16 rounds now?
I think it's 20. 3 through 10 are tomorrow. And then the final day on Tuesday is 11 through 20.
I'm really disappointed they cut down the number of rounds. I really like the joke of asking if you got drafted or not. But I feel like
it still hits.
It still does, but not in the same way when there was like endless
40 rounds.
Like it felt like they were still drafting in October.
Yeah, it's like, how did these people know these are actual baseball players?
Yeah, it's like that dude who I think he was in the state of like Oregon or something, or Nevada maybe, and he just had a signing for Oregon, and it took them until after they had the whole school there to watch this kid sign to find out that Oregon never offered him.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, I think that's – maybe we should do that. Maybe we should just
like
throw our name in the hat.
Or,
yeah,
okay.
Somehow. Yeah. And see if we can like – or maybe I feel like it would have to be a high school kid, but like it can be a high school kid that like has no aspirations to play baseball anymore.
Maybe didn't even play high school baseball.
Yeah, maybe that, yeah.
There was a couple years ago that –
actually, your nephews would be perfect. Let's do that.
Yeah, that'd be good with me.
Yeah.
There was a couple years ago, some kids at Grace Christian made a fake profile for a kid. And he ended up getting rated like 4 stars on Rivals or something like that. Something insane. And the kid never existed. I think they put together a highlight tape. He was like 6'6", 300 pounds, something like that. He's an offensive lineman and got rated high by Rivals. It might have just been 3 stars, but you need to understand, like, getting rated at all is pretty insane. Let alone a fake kid getting rated.
Let's play a game of who has the worst recruiting rankings. Is it ESPN or Rivals? I think it's up for debate.
Yeah.
Also, Joey Booster, are you draft eligible?
He would be draft eligible this year, right?
Is he?
I think so.
No, I think he's just going to be he'll just be a junior. He's got 1 more year left.
Okay, so it was a fake profile. He was 6'6", 315. His name is Blake Carringer. He tweeted out, whoever ran the account, that he had an offer from Alabama, and 247 and Rivals put him in their database and rated him a 3-star.
Hell yeah.
That's all.
You know what's worse? The person rated directly below him.
Yeah.
He's like, what?
Yeah.
He's like, a fake person got rated higher than me?
Chad Mitchell. Can you believe? Wasn't he a 3-star? That's insane.
Yeah, Chad Mitchell was a 3-star.
He was. I love my boy Chadwell. He's a big dude, 6'5". I don't know what he played in high school, but very unathletic.
Yeah.
He did block for
Ty Chandler.
That's got to mean something.
Yeah. I mean, he scored a lot of touchdowns. He had to have some part in it.
He was also I would talk about this till the day I died. He was at the Kick 6 in 2013. As a recruit, he was on the field.
Yeah.
That's insane.
For those of y'all that don't know, our buddy Chad Mitchell, we're in his wedding, no big deal. He is like a 6'6", 6'5", 6'4", something.
He's at least 6'5". He might be 6'6". Let's just look him up let's see what he is.
I think I don't know about 6'6". That seems large.
Chad, your LinkedIn. If you're listening, your LinkedIn came up. That should mean something. He's rated at 6'4". I thought he was at least 6'5". But they're not skimping out on those rankings. Mercer.
Yeah, they probably helped him out a little bit.
It also said he weighed 270. Good on you, Chad. Weighing 270 going into college.
He's
offensive line. That's pretty good. He was just a 2-star. He was the 93rd ranked offensive lineman in the state of Tennessee. I don't know if that's good or not, but he also had offers from Arkansas State. Shout out Butch Jones, who wasn't there at the time, but we'll give him a shout out.
Yeah, for sure. Jonesboro. Gotta love it.
I mean, it has him listed as interest from Auburn, Georgia, Purdue, South Carolina, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Virginia. Good for you.
He had Power 5 interests, not offers.
He did not have offers from them, but they're listed. He took visits there, I guess is what that means.
He could have walked on for sure.
He took an official to Auburn and was there for the kick six. That's almost better than playing college football.
Yeah. He got to see Alabama get beat on a field.
It's better. It's better than
did it this year.
Better than getting punched in the face for dancing on a tee. That's for sure.
100%. Yeah. Please don't do that. Don't.
We're not even talking about Jerry Banks. I'm sorry, Joey.
I feel like that should be the first questions that you ask recruits is like, hey, would you ever dance on this? If they say no, then you're like, okay, if you accidentally step on it and you're told to do 10 push-ups, you do
10 push-ups.
Yeah,
what kind of pride gets in the way of 10 push-ups? That's called stupid pride.
Yeah, I mean, you do more than that after you drop a football in practice.
Yeah, that's insane. I'm not even talking about the Jerry Banks story at this point. We're not.
Unreal.
I'm believe it or not. So,
believe it or not. I love that you tweeted at me and you're like, why is Jerry Banks?
Well, I was just scrolling through and I was like, this has nothing to do with him. What happened? Also, the first person died, right?
Dude, where did they go?
It had to be fake, first off. But it went up into the stands behind. I also don't know. So my question is, where did they actually go? If it was faked, where did they actually land is my question.
I don't know. I mean, he did get black. I mean, just thinking how high that thing went up. It went up pretty high. Wherever it landed.
Regardless, it went out of the camera.
Yeah. And so, if that person falls out at,
if they land, your head is not secured. It's just snapping around in there. I don't know whose idea that was, but incredibly dumb idea.
Yeah.
If you told me that was an episode of Jackass, I believe you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it was.
Well, I mean, just think you're going up that high, and then if you come back down and you land on your feet, you're breaking your legs.
Yeah. Also, I saw a video today, speaking of that, of this guy leaving a baseball game, and he's an older guy walking down the stairs, and both of his knees just give out. And he literally, as he's walking, just his butt hits the ground with his legs still folded. So, folds down like that. And both of his knees have to have 0 ligaments left.
Just gone.
I don't know if I could even find it again. I was just scrolling. It was one of those that you can only watch once because it's so nasty. But yeah, that was I mean, you would just honestly hope I die.
And you got the same knees as Derrick Rose.
Oh gosh, yeah. Kind of forget about him.
Yeah, he's with the Grizzlies now.
Is he?
Yeah, he's in Memphis, baby. Back in Memphis.
There you go. Shout out Cal.
Shout out Cal.
Cal can recruit. Who knew?
He can't close. He can recruit.
All right, we're way off topic. Let's get back to the football commit real quick. Wait a minute. I saw a video get uploaded here. Is this the video of the bull that we're talking about, or is this something that does not pertain to what we're talking about? Okay, just wanted to check.
Okay, I was about to say it. I'm scared.
I'm not clicking on something I don't know about.
Yeah.
All right. We'll get back to that after we talk a little bit commit, because this is slightly on it. I mean, this is breaking news for sure.
Yeah, for sure. You had William Satterwhite, inside offensive lineman, 6'3", 295 pounds, out of Akron, Ohio. Shout out LeBron. Commit to Tennessee, 4-star On3 has him listed as the number 211th player overall and number 7 player in the state of Ohio, and committed to Tennessee over Michigan, Penn State, Michigan State. I mean, I guess in that you're beating out Big Ten schools. Clemson, Georgia, Alabama, Auburn. So, really good pickup there. And you definitely need to beef up the offense. You can never have too many offensive linemen.
No.
Just ask Derek Dooley.
For sure.
I mean, he had no clue what an offensive lineman was.
Which is pretty crazy for how efficient that offense was.
Yeah.
I mean, really just 2012, but you get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and another guard or interior offensive lineman, you definitely want to add some more tackles to this. So, you're going to look at the 4-star massive offensive lineman, Bennett Warren, 6'7.5", 330 pounds. Michigan looks like the biggest contention for him outside of Tennessee. So rated the number 155th and number 29 player out of the state of Texas. But yeah, 6'7.5", 330. I mean, what do you even feed this kid?
I feel like that's a good question to ask about recruits. If you know what they're eating, don't recruit them.
Do you make a meal and he eats that meal, but you also have to make him a little something extra also?
Probably more than that, because I do that because I'm fat. So there's more to it, I think, than that. I mean, I'm known to go dessert steak.
Yeah.
So
is it like you make it for 3 people, but you're really making it for 4?
Yeah, you're like, I've never learned to cook for 1. So do you just throw away food? No. That kind of deal.
Yeah. There's no leftovers. He just eats it.
Yeah, exactly. He orders a couple apps. Waitress looks like, is that, we splitting that? Is that for the table? And he's like, nah, absolutely not.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, that's what I'm having. What's everybody else having?
And what are you guys eating?
Is that a Kevin James joke on Grown Ups? I feel like it is.
I think it is.
He's like, I think we'll have 16 hamburgers, and that's for me. What's everybody else having? I think that is.
Yeah, I think you nailed that line too.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
No, I this just like you said, can't have enough offensive linemen. I like who Tennessee competed with to get this one too. That's huge. He talked about how he likes the opportunity to get on the field right away. Tennessee is especially everyone that's playing is veteran pretty much. Probably going to be gone this year and definitely by next year. Let's talk about, you talked about with the secondary, like, hey, if you want to play, come here. Offensive line, selling that a little bit too.
Yeah, especially at tackle.
But at least in a good way too. It's not just like, hey, they're not very good in front of you. They're just old. They're getting too old.
Just too old. Yeah. Yeah, definitely need to beef up that offensive line, recruiting a little bit. I think it's not that it's been underwhelming, but you would think with the amount of, and maybe it's, I don't know, what are offensive linemen looking at when it gets to this offense? They're like, oh man, like I got to run down the field like the entire time, or is it just like, dude, they score a crap ton of touchdowns and they just got a offensive tackle that went number 10 overall to the Chicago Bears in the NFL draft.
Yeah, I mean, that's I think getting a guy like this is kind of hopefully that it keeps trending that way. Maybe put some of that to rest, because I've wondered that, like, what does an offensive lineman view this offense as? Just because, I mean, yeah, there is a lot of untraditional looks, but I mean, at the end of the day, this offense is going to be run heavy. If you want to be aggressive, if you want to be a mean, dirty son of a bitch, like you get to do it in this offense.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity to just go maul the person, because I feel like there's not a ton of just kind of, it's not like waiting back. Like, I feel like this offense goes so fast where you don't have to be very conservative as an offensive lineman.
Right.
You can just go be like, destroy somebody. And if you happen to miss, the ball's probably out anyway. So,
yeah, there's definitely, I mean, I'm not like taking anything away from Darnell Rowdy. Obviously, like, just improved drastically. And I mean, you saw where he got, but I got to think, like, there's just not, for a throw heavy, I just said they're run heavy, for a team that throws it a lot, you're not just getting teed up teed off on by edge rushers if you're a tackle.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like you said, the ball's getting out so fast. You're moving so fast in terms of the next place. The ball's about to be snapped. They don't have time to.
Yeah, but also like if you're looking at it as like, oh, I got to run down the field the entire time. I mean, if your dream is to get to the NFL, I mean, the majority of these offenses are that same way. I mean, you look at some of the best quarterbacks, that's the kind of offense that they run. That's the kind of offense you want to be in.
Right.
You know, I know the Bears, it's a little bit different with Justin Fields at quarterback. But if you get Trey Smith is with Patrick Mahomes. You think they're not running up and down the field? I mean, I saw Patrick Mahomes' new home. He's got a field in the back. He's probably making his offensive lineman run, on off days.
That's an incredibly short field for someone who I feel like has all these insane videos of them throwing the ball just a very long distance.
Yeah.
He's going to be throwing it into his neighbor's pool before the end of the summer.
I wonder if he throws in the woods and tries to throw around trees, kind of like the Matrix,
that or do you remember those awesome videos for fantasy football on ESPN where they had someone jumping through or over a car or something like that. Some wide receiver, I can't remember who, maybe Terrell Owens. That's how old these videos are. Punching through drywall to catch a ball.
Yeah. I know you're
Mason Crosby kicking the bell on top of the tower. Yeah, he's going to make those videos now.
But for real, it's going to be actually real.
Right. Similar to Tom Brady's hole in one, his really long putt, him throwing the ball back into the what are those things called? Oh my gosh.
Tom Brady throwing what?
He throws the football back into the automatic. I can't remember what those are called. Jug machine. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
I've been blanking a lot lately. I'm getting old, man.
Yeah, and you're probably a little jet lagged even though you're driving, but it's kind of the same thing.
I have had these last couple days. I'm glad I took this break before I go on a full, last week was full go. And then pretty much Friday night through now, I've been even going to that concert, it's been very chill. I've just not really had anywhere to, I had a couple errands to run today, but nothing to really go. And I haven't been in the car for 8 hours. So that's been nice.
Yeah.
It's been good. It's been fun. It's been real fun.
All right. Well, that's the show. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you. We do have this video. I want you to watch this, Landon, because this guy definitely no knees left.
Okay.
Is that the last video?
Oh!
You just die. Okay. Well, we're back. We're going to talk some SEC stadiums here, and we're going to. I think how Caleb wants to do it. I'm gonna do it this way. It's Neyland and everything else. So I'm gonna go Neyland, and then I guess we'll just pick our favorites from there. And Caleb's been to a few more than I've been to. I'm excited to go to the Swamp, but just based off, I guess, look. Obviously, fan base probably has a little something to do with it, and just probably the overall city has a little bit to do with it too.
We're talking about SEC.
Yeah.
I'll take city out of this. We're gonna go stadium only. We're going
stadium only. Okay.
Because I feel like I'm trying to think of a good example of just a not great city. But reverse of that, Lexington's a great city. Kroger Field sucks.
Yeah.
And I feel
it would be a fantastic high school stadium.
I mean, yeah.
It's nicer. It's not a dump.
It's not a dump. No. They are finally serving alcohol this year. That's a bonus.
Vanderbilt's a dump.
Vanderbilt is a dump, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. See, I feel like that's it's kind of like Neyland. I'm sure it's like Neyland. I'm sure there's nice parts of Tiger.
But does that make it worse? Does it make it worse that it's a nicer stadium but still not great? Because I feel like Vanderbilt would just be our stadium's a dump. We get it.
Well, I don't think it's nice enough that it's it's not so nice that it's unbelievable that it's Kentucky's.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's that. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think it's that nice.
Yeah, I feel like they upgraded and they upgraded to what people already had, and now people are already upgrading like way past that.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely still to be an SEC, to be the caliber we're going to talk about, it would need some drastic upgrades.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I think it's an okay stadium. It's not the name's probably one of the worst parts, and then the team playing in it. Those are probably the two worst things it's got going for them.
Yeah, and we're talking about this because Tate Ratledge, who was a Tennessee fan, ended up going to Georgia. I mean, I guess like at that point I couldn't really blame him.
No.
But he did say on a podcast that.
Well, I'll blame him, but like I get it.
Right. Okay, that's fair. He said Neyland Stadium is the best stadium in the SEC, and he said no offense to Sanford, no offense to the fans, but then he was like, "Can you imagine our fans in Neyland Stadium?" I'm like,
"Yeah," which come on. Like I'm not saying that environment this year at Sanford was fantastic. Don't get me wrong.
Here's another thing:
but
you're not a Tennessee fan if you go to Georgia. That's another point.
Right. Correct.
You weren't a true Tennessee fan. There's no way if Georgia offers me a scholarship,
I'm laughing in Kirby Smart's face.
Exactly.
So Kirby,
if you're getting an offer
that's why he's never offered me. He knows not to offer me.
Yeah, if you're getting an offer from Georgia, you're obviously probably going to get one from Tennessee as well.
Right.
And
9.9 times out of 10.
So I'm going to Tennessee. So I would never go to Georgia. I would never go to Florida, Alabama. Definitely not Vanderbilt. And definitely not Kentucky.
I don't even think that has to do with being a Tennessee fan, but yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, if I'm getting offered from Georgia, I'm definitely not going to Vanderbilt, Kentucky.
No. And I'll say this. Again, I said like kind of going from like a somewhat of a just as a football fan in general. Someone tweeted it out. I'll see if I can find it. And I agree with this tweet that and a lot of people have been talking about it too. It's not just Tate Ratledge. We thought we would discuss it since it's been so widely talked about. Brandon Marcello, don't know how you say his name. Not even he writes for 247. He said, "What if I told you there isn't one stadium in the SEC? Truth is, there are at least 5 interchangeable stadiums in the SEC that could be number 1 on any given Saturday. It all depends on the matchup and the stakes." And I do agree with that. I think you can put Neyland, the Swamp, Sanford, Bryant-Denny, Tiger Stadium, and I'm blanking on Auburn's.
Kyle Field? What about Kyle Field?
I don't put Kyle Field in there. Kyle Field, you were talking about kind of like separating things. So I put Kyle Field probably at 7 and number 2 essentially. Kyle Field's environment, not that great. And that was a good game that I went to. It's a great stadium. I mean, it's a cathedral to college football, but it's not an environment like any of the others.
See, I did I looked this up, like best SEC stadiums. Tennessee was 6, and
it's not 6 in the SEC. It's not. Maybe in the country. Maybe.
Yeah, even
that. Maybe.
I mean, I'm extremely biased.
Again, it kind of goes into that. There are matchups and nights where things are better. Like the whiteout at Penn State. I'm sorry, Joey. I'm all good with hating Penn State, but we can't deny the whiteout at Penn State is one of the better environments to watch in college football.
Yeah, congrats. You got everybody to wear white to a game.
And I mean but it's a good environment. Like watching them run out of the tunnel for that game, it's electric. It's a good college football environment. I mean, Michigan Stadium when the stakes are high, like going to the Big House and watching a game, like the environment there, it's a great environment. Ohio State, Michigan, probably the only time that stadium's worth anything. It's called the Horseshoe. I mean, come on, but it's a great environment. So I mean, I do think kind of similar to that SEC argument, there are probably several that are interchangeable, just depending on the weekend. When we're talking about history, when we're talking about facilities, Neyland's one of the best. I mean, there's just no denying it.
Yep. So this one, the one that I looked up, it was by whatever USA Today is that covers the Alabama site, whatever that is. It had Kyle Field as number 2, and it had Tiger Stadium as, which there shouldn't be two, or there's only. I think it's stupid that you have your mascot in the stadium. It's another kind of stupid to have your school in stadium like Vanderbilt Stadium. I mean, can we not come
Or are
up
they not
with
Fifth and
anything
Third
else?
anymore? Fifth and Third Bank Stadium anymore? They were for a while.
I don't think so.
They had a corporate sponsor name for a while.
Okay. Well, this just says Vanderbilt Stadium.
That is bad. Okay, and First Bank Stadium. Sorry, not Fifth and Third. First Bank Stadium. I will say this for Kyle Field. To be fair to its size, and like I said, it's magnificent, and there is history there too. It probably does have to be in that first tier. It unfortunately probably does. And then I feel like there's a second tier of like Williams Bryce, which I said was probably a better environment than most people think about.
Yeah, I thought it was a cool setup. It is like in the middle of a field.
Well, I kind of like. There's something cool about Neyland being right there on campus, but there's also something cool about like fairgrounds surrounding it. Like even which LSU kind of gets best of both worlds. Campus is right there, but they also have some type of like fairground setup surrounding, like a ton of parking surrounding it.
Yeah, well, Kentucky's kind of the same way. Well, Kentucky's weird. It's kind of like you walk through like a subdivision and there's a stadium and a field.
Yeah. But Williams Bryce environment though, obviously and again, depends on the week. But for the Tennessee game, like I went there in 2014, not as good. This year, though, it was a great environment. Like you just can't deny that. But yeah, I feel like Williams Bryce is in that kind of second tier. Then you have Arkansas as well in that.
Razorback Stadium, another stupid thing.
Yeah, and like I would almost put, because I feel like Missouri had a good environment for Georgia this year, so they have the ability to have a good environment. But it's such an ugly stadium that it's got to be in like the same as like Vanderbilt in Kentucky.
Yeah, I was reading up on Missouri Stadium a little bit, and apparently, now this is just what I read. It's obviously not the size of, Neyland, the Swamp,
right,
Bryant Denny, stuff like that. But they said for the fan base that it has, it's a really good atmosphere because if it was bigger, obviously they wouldn't fill it.
Yeah, I think that's important. Like I do think that's an important aspect. I mean, for
I think example, it's part of the reason why Tennessee is like they're not going to. The baseball stadium is not going to be 16,000 people,
and it never should be
filled. Yeah,
it never should be. Like I think the number they're at, like we're going to be right around like 7,000-8,000. Right?
Yeah.
Is that what it's going to be at when it's done?
Yeah, 76. I think
76. Okay, like that's a good. I think Tennessee could maybe get close to 10, but that might be a little too big. I feel like
on Tuesday nights, and during like the first couple, like obviously during SEC, you'll fill that up, but during I mean, even now during like if it's going to rain or it's colder, the first of the season. You're playing some no-name team that you're going to beat, like we did Iona. It was like 28-1 or something like that. I mean, you're just not going to have people in the stands.
No, but so that's why I feel like the number we're at is good. I just feel like you could push it a hair more. You could never have 13,000.
Yeah, and you obviously you want to have demand all the time.
Right.
So I think it was good to increase it, but yeah,
you want to find the balance of availability and demand. You do want to find that balance, and I feel like 76, whatever it's at, is going to be a good. So I will say that for like Missouri, I don't think Kentucky should never try to go past where they're at. I don't even know if South Carolina should ever try to go past where they're at. Like I feel like those sizes are good for them. And so I mean, I definitely think I agree with that they're interchangeable. I think it is absurd. If fans of opposing teams want to talk about Neal in the last 15 years, that's fine. But we also can't forget there's been some great environments in those 15 years. I mean, Oklahoma at 15, an opposing player wrote an op-ed about it. Like they wrote an entire article dedicated to a game at that stadium. Florida, there's been so many great environments for Florida games over the years. Georgia in 13. I've always said Oklahoma 15 was the loudest sustained. And up until Alabama this year, I would have said the loudest moment I've had is Georgia 13, that block punt in the south end zone.
Do you know who blocked it?
I think Cam Sutton recovered it, didn't he?
No.
Dang, it was a freshman corner, wasn't it?
Yeah. And it's somebody like when I say it, you're gonna be like, oh, yeah,
I'm
I
sure.
do remember. But it wasn't a big time player.
I'm sure it's gonna kill me when I hear it. But it was a freshman corner who recovered it.
Yeah, and I think a freshman
was it Malik Foreman that recovered it? Dang, he was a freshman that year though, right?
Yeah, and there another freshman linebacker blocked it.
It wasn't Alex Ellis, was it? He had the fake against Missouri, and that was 13 or 14. Would have been 14. All right, who was it?
So Jalen Reeves may have been blocked it.
You said he wasn't big time. What? At
No,
Tennessee?
No, that scored the touchdown.
Oh, that scored the touchdown. Okay.
Yeah.
Trying to think of freshman corners on that team. I don't know.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Devon Swafford.
I was up there in the Tri-Cities area with Malik Foreman.
Yeah.
I was getting there. I was getting there. That was a crazy. I mean, that was hugging everybody around you moment. Like me and this random guy hugged for like a solid minute, just jumping up and down together. That was a loud moment. So yeah, I mean, like if they say that, they're only thinking about the teams that have won stuff recently.
Yeah.
And that's kind of unfair because Florida's won the East recently only because the rest of the East has sucked.
Yeah.
They haven't won the SEC. So if we're going to do that, like, let's be fair to the whole thing. And that's why I'm trying to be fair to, like, Williams. Like I said, Williams-Brice, stand up. I will applaud. Like, that was a good – you all brought it that night, South Carolina fans. I don't know if you could do that ever again, that kind of environment, but you did it one night, and that's all that matters.
It was a night game. So,
that's something, too, to get night games. That's something.
Yeah.
Get the fans rowdy. Get a few drinks flowing.
That's why I'm pumped for the Swamp. I cannot wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be nasty in the best sense.
Yeah.
I do have this fail I wanted to read because it's about this stadium. Some guy responded to that original tweet I read off about kind of how the tiers happen. I want to, like, you kind of feel the same way, like there's tiers to it rather than just like 1 through 14.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, if we want to do tier it, let's tier it. There's got to be 3, right? Is there 3 tiers? You think?
I think 3. Excellent, good, and you never have to go there. Yeah. Before we do that, though, Justin Haynes tweeted, the 4 that have always stood out to me are JHS, Tiger Stadium, Ben Hill Griffin, and Samford, not Sanford, Samford. Then he said, I've unfortunately never been to Neyland when UT is good. Then he said, Bryce Williams is surprisingly good. My opinion, Kyle Field is too big and too modern. 2 of the names he listed off weren't even right. Like, you can't have an opinion if you can't even get the names of the stadiums right. You can Google search them if you'd like. We don't have to know you Google searched them.
Right. Well, it's like if you're going to do enough to, like, at least get it close, can we get it right?
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, just say Auburn Stadium if you don't know. Or
yeah.
Georgia.
He messed up Georgia's and South Carolina's. Yeah.
What do you say, William Bryce?
Bryce Williams. It's Williams Bryce.
Bryce Williams. I mean, that's
kind of a cool. If I was a South Carolina fan, I'd get his name. 100% be Bryce
Williams. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a 6th man of the year basketball player. Bryce Williams.
Yeah, honestly, kind of does.
Let's do tiers.
Okay, tiers. So I'm gonna write this down. So we just first tier, Neyland. All right, what's in the second tier? Swamp, Ben Hill Griffin.
Yeah.
Sanford. I think because of recent history, you do have to put Bryant Denny in it.
Yeah.
Like, it's had so many good environments. I think you have to.
Yeah.
Then you've got.
In Kyle Field, or are you putting Kyle Field in there?
I was thinking about it. I'm trying to think of just great moments that I've seen. The best one from Kyle Field was probably that 6 or 7 overtime game against LSU, and still only like 10,000 people stormed the field. I think I'm going second for Kyle Field.
Okay.
Like I said, just if we're like as an overall, if we're just talking cathedral to college football, easy first year.
Well, and if you disagree, create your own podcast and do this.
Okay, so let me make sure I haven't left anybody off. I've got Neyland, the Swamp, Bryant Denny, Sanford, Tiger Stadium, Jordan Hare. I think that's it for the first tier.
Yeah, I think that's all I'm going to go with.
You know who I'll put second tier, like first? Not that I'm like necessarily ranking them, but who I think is probably closer to first tier than Kyle Stadium, Razorback Stadium, or Kyle Field, Razorback Stadium. I feel like I've seen some great environments there.
I was going to go Vaught Hemingway. I feel like Ole Miss.
Vaught Hemingway, and that's another one you mentioned. You mentioned size comparison to fan base. I feel like they've done a good job of kind of getting to their maximum and creating good environments. Similar to
I feel like they're always playing night games. Like the ones that I can remember watching them, it's a night game. Like the Egg Bowl, those couple of years where they,
the Egg Bowl's always at night because it's on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, when they beat Alabama.
Yeah,
with Hugh Freeze.
Yeah, for sure. And then I'm a sucker for cowbells. I love cowbells, so we're gonna go I gotta throw another Mississippi State in there too.
Okay.
Another Mississippi. Davis Wade. Then you have. I don't think I can put Missouri. I don't think I can put Fairfield in there. I'm sorry. You made a good argument, but I feel like I can only remember one good environment there.
Well, and the name Fairfield.
That's fair. Second tier, we leave anybody? Williams-Brice.
Yeah, Williams-Brice. Bryce Williams.
6
man of the year.
For sure. Second tier of the year, definitely.
And we put Kyle Field in there.
Kyle Field second tier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're borderline, but they're second tier.
Okay.
I don't think I'm leaving anybody off there. Third tier, Kentucky, Kroger, Vanderbilt Stadium. What are they? First Bank.
And Fairfield.
Fairfield. I think it's
FAUROT.
ROT. Yep. And then who else we left? I feel like we're leaving somebody off. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 14 right there. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 interchangeable first tier.
Okay, well, I got
5 in the second.
Yeah,
let's hear it.
Where does Oklahoma and Texas fit?
Man, I don't know. I feel like they're both going to be. I think I'm going to give both of them the benefit of the doubt because they have a ton of history and they're both great stadiums. I think they start in first tier for me, and then I reassess the first 5 years. Every year, I reassess them. First 3 years, I reassess them.
I'm kind of thinking Texas. I can't remember the name of that field.
They are. They've got a memorial.
Yes. Is it DKR?
DKR Memorial Stadium. No, is it DKR? That sounds right. But now, it sounds right until you saying it sounds right. Yeah, DKR, Darrell K. Royal Memorial Stadium. And then Oklahoma's a family one. Good Lord.
Well, one thing that hurts both of them is when they play each other, the Red River rivalry.
Dude, it's insane.
It's in the Cotton Bowl.
It's the same with Georgia and Florida. Why would you not want to play those teams at home? If you Sanford and the Swamp could bolster their resumes if they hosted those games every other year.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I don't get it. I will never understand neutral rivalries.
So I do think that hurts those
a neutral site.
That hurts those home games, number one, but just that atmosphere.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I'm kind of leaning toward Texas being first tier and Oklahoma being second tier.
Okay. I kind of leaning towards. I kind of think I was going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I think I'm going to be a stronger man rather than a better man. I think I'm going to start them off second tier and I'll reevaluate after the first 3 years.
Okay, yeah.
I think they're borderline first. They can easily make their way to first for me. but they start in second.
Yeah, you gotta earn your spot. I like.
Yeah,
that.
you got to earn your stripes.
Yeah. Okay.
For sure. Zebras aren't born with stripes. I don't think that's true, but we'll say it.
Yeah.
Remember when Butch Jones used to put a black stripe on freshmen? I feel like that's something Hitler did.
Yeah.
If we want to compare, we compare politicians to Hitler. We rarely compare football coaches. Butch Jones, he put a black stripe on freshmen's helmets. He wanted everyone to know who the freshmen were, who the newcomers were. Seems dangerous to me.
Yeah, those shouldn't.
If you don't remember history, it's bound to repeat itself. So
don't dance on the tee if you have a black stripe or at all, but especially if you have a black stripe.
Jason Krim will knock your ass out. Okay. Anything else for the stadium?
That's all I got.
If I get canceled for comparing Butch Jones to Hitler, I'll take it. Like that's the easiest comparison of all time. Easiest comparison of all time.
I can't wait for, and I know it's different because LSU is a noon game and Florida is going to be a night game, but I can't wait till after that Florida game to compare those two because I feel like they are kind of similar.
Yeah, I think so. I'll like you said, based on the night situation, I think it's Florida we're gonna come out thinking that.
Yeah, probably depending on if we win or not too.
Yeah, probably because Williams-Brice would have been just a deserted desert if Tennessee had taken care of business. Sure. And I would be laughing and dancing on Bryce Williams' grave right now. He would have never won Sixth Man of the Year. Anything else for stadiums other than Neyland's also getting upgrades. Like it's already gorgeous. That is the cathedral to college football. Right. And listen, I'm blessed to say that I've seen some great games in Neyland. Others don't get that opportunity, but just believe me, I'm not a man. I'm not a liar.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. Questions? Comments?
Questions. Yeah. Have we heard anything else on Alabama pitcher Luke Holman? Yes, it looks like Tennessee's definitely in the running for him. We've all kind of thought that and knew that. But somebody that's really leaning on Luke Holman is Drew Beam, who is at the playing for the USA team with Luke Holman. Also, Drew Beam is also his roommate. So, I think
Tony Vitello working like a little backdoor action, even though he's not coaching. Like, see, put in a word, maybe.
I love it. Yep.
Maybe backdoor action as roommates isn't the way to phrase that, but you get it. Okay. Any other questions?
That's all I got.
Okay. We had that one that you put out today. Wanted to answer that one on the show. Verbatim here. This is our question of the day, so answer it now or go back to our tweet and answer it. We did get a lot of interactions. Thank you all for replying. Can you name a random Tennessee Vol that was underappreciated? I'm going to read some. There was a Kyler Curbison shout-out. It may have had something to do with the story today that was released. Casey Clausen, that's kind of a shocker. I think he was underappreciated probably, but maybe not. Kyle Alexander, I like that one. Chris Westmoreland, that's an interesting one too. That's a good one. T. Martin, I don't think that's true. The whole line for the 98 team, Jack Clifton, Mercedes Hamilton, Spencer Riley, Cozy Coleman, Jarvis Rito. Again, don't think they're necessarily underappreciated. Maybe I'm crazy. This one, I don't think so either. Alvin Kamara, Josh Malone, Corey Vereen, Brian Randolph. I don't think those guys were underappreciated. Am I crazy?
Say that one more time.
Alvin Kamara, but coaching staff, sure. Alvin Kamara, Josh Malone, Corey Vereen, and Brian Randolph.
Yeah, I did.
Brian Randolph. So here's my thing for Brian Randolph. He was a good player for Tennessee. Like, I'm not denying that. Where maybe I would say he's underappreciated is he was a huge part of that legacy class. He hosted a lot of the visits. He was a big key component in getting them on campus. That 2014 class. So for sure. This one was mine. It was the first one that popped in my head. Robert Meacham.
Yeah, that's a good one.
He was his junior year. He had 1,200 something yards receiving. He was part of that 2006 team that played in the SEC championship. Like I don't think he's necessarily like not appreciated, but maybe. And he's also in the unfortunate spot of just being a lot of good receivers at Tennessee. But yeah, he was a solid one for sure that I feel like doesn't get talked about a lot, and maybe too kind of just the time he played.
Yeah, I saw a lot of Denarius Moore. I thought that was a good one.
That is a good one. Denarius Moore's a good one.
I said Travis Stevens. I thought he was.
That was an interesting one for me. Maybe it's because we're looking back on it, and I wonder what it was at the time. But I feel like he's maybe adequately appreciated.
Well, I feel like he had a big part in that Florida game in '98.
He did, yeah.
And didn't really have a huge impact the rest of that season. But I feel like he's remembered for that game. But I don't feel like people appreciate him in 2001, where I think he set a single season rushing record at Tennessee with like 1,400 yards.
You mentioned the 2000 or the 1998 Florida game. Wasn't he? Yeah, he was God, I'm going to mess this up. He rushed for 200 yards in that game.
It was a lot. Yeah. I mean, he was
I'm trying to find it. See if you can find that, Joey or Dylan, real quick, what his rushing yards were. Also, just while you're at it, maybe look up the box score and tell me about my boy Bobby Graham. Travis Stevens, 2001 Florida. Just look up the Florida box score in 2001. You'll see Travis Stevens and Bobby Graham leading the receiving and rushing categories. No big deal. Shout out to our boy. So yeah, maybe, and I think too, he also kind of going back into like that Robert Meacham where he was just Tennessee's, that was right out of Tennessee's good water. Travis Stevens was in like when Tennessee had a plethora of backs.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that was part of it. Like you think of.
Yeah, so I think you're right in that sense. That's what I'm saying. Like I do agree with that.
Yeah, Travis Henry, Jamal Lewis. Yeah.
Arian Foster came after him a couple years after him, but Arian Foster came after him, who I don't know if Arian Foster's underappreciated. He was he said some things that rightfully Tennessee fans can get mad about. Also maybe some things taken out of context along with that. And then also he fumbled. I think he lost the ball 3 times, and they were 3 critical times, but he lost the ball 3 times, and people only remember him for fumbling.
Yeah.
But he didn't fumble that much.
No, he really
like
didn't.
A lot of people are like, he couldn't hang on to the ball. No, he could. He just had some very unfortunate timing.
Yeah.
Travis Stevens, 226, 2 touchdowns in that game. That is one of, other than Alabama now, that I've rewatched a lot. That is one of my most fun rewatches is the 0-1 Florida game. Because it's in December. It's like a kind of a weird environment. Mm-hmm. It's a good time.
There's a lot of good basketball ones. JP Prince. I saw a lot of Kevin Punter.
Amani Moore got mentioned.
Amani Moore, yeah.
Which I will agree. He was probably not so if he was on a better team. He was just on some bad teams. That Kyle Alexander mentioned was good. He's for me. I wish we could have gotten. Yeah, shout out to Deuce. I wish we could have gotten more out of him his junior year or sophomore year, I guess.
Yeah,
but definitely like big component there.
Definitely wish we could have had him against Loyola Chicago.
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to think of some good basketball ones off the top of my head.
I saw Josh Malone. And I don't think he was I think he was underappreciated because of all that talent on that team.
Yeah. I agree.
Because you had Hurd, Kamara, Dobbs.
And then you had a guy who probably wasn't as necessarily like just raw talented, but a guy that was just a dog in Juwan Jennings.
Yeah.
And Josh Smith was on those teams too, and Josh Smith got the ball a lot.
Yep, I saw Josh Smith on there.
I saw Josh Smith mentioned. I thought that was an interesting one just because he's a local kid. I think he was appreciated. And I think he gave everything he had.
Yeah. For sure.
Montario Hardesty was a good one. I don't know if we mentioned him, but that was in the Twitter thread.
Mose Phillips, J.J. McCleskey.
Interesting. Yeah.
Dennis Rogan.
I don't know if he's speaking of Alcoa. Oh my gosh, blanking on his name. The guy that came out of the frat house for the kick against MTSU. Brodus. Derek
Brodus.
Brodus. Derek Brodus. So you're named after Brutus? That's not true. That would be cool.
Dennis Rogan went to.
Was he not Alcoa?
I think he went
Was
to
he Fulton? Was he Fulton?
Fulton, yeah.
One of those maroon teams. I think he was Fulton.
Okay. I saw a lot of Eric Westmoreland, and I
Okay.
think that was because of Al Wilson,
Right.
and also Raynoch Thompson.
Yeah, for sure. Again, kind of just a product of
Jason Kroom.
Wonder if he got the mention because of honestly, Kroom going from tight end to wide receiver is pretty insane. And then back to tight end, didn't he? He played tight end again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. I don't think I have any. Nobody else is popping off the top of the head here. You got any more?
No, I'm just reading through some of these. Andy Kelly, Evan Russell. I think looking back, Evan Russell's probably one. I thought Jake Rucker was one when he was here.
Yeah.
Just because that team had, they had.
There's a lot of talent around him too, especially not just in the lineup, but in the infield too.
Well, and I don't think people really understood how good Jake Rucker was because he started in the 3-hole in the SEC as a true freshman.
Yeah.
Dude could freaking mash.
Yeah. But not just as a hitter. Like he had Max Ferguson and Liam Spence in the middle infield next to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Luke Lipsius at first.
Yep. And you had Drew, you had Jordan back.
Yeah. Ton of hitters on that team, and then
a
bunch of defensive players too. Evan Russell is probably one of the better baseball ones recently, especially what he did his senior years last year, whatever you want to call that year.
Yeah. Pig Howard was a good one.
Pig Howard is. I don't know if underappreciated. I think Vol fans loved him.
Yeah.
And dude,
I just think he was a bright spot on some really bad teams.
Yeah, and dude, for me, that is in terms of relating, feeling as much pain for normally when an athlete makes a mistake or makes a bad play, you just get angry. That Georgia play in 13 in overtime, that's the worst I've felt for a player probably ever.
Yeah.
Dude just literally gave his all, tried to make a play. And at the last second, ball slips out. I think it got called a touchdown on the field. It's probably called a touchdown if review doesn't exist in college football. And a guy, just grinded. That's probably to this day, probably the worst I've felt for an athlete.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to all the athletes that I've got mad about that have done the same thing as Pig and just tried to make great plays. I apologize, but it's just, I'm a human. Okay.
For sure.
Unless you're a kicker, you can burn in hell if you miss a game winner. I kid. I'll side with you always. I'll defend you always. Anything else? Most important? Most important of the week?
Most important. What do I have in here? I do have a good friend we need to talk about real quick before we get into most important. Our good friends at Knoxville Tours. Check out our good friends. They have tours you don't want to miss. If you call them today at 865-688-6232 and mention more important issues, you'll get an exclusive offer on their 5-day MLB tour. The offer will include 4 nights in Cincinnati, 3 nights in Chicago, and now they have changed the games. So you will get 1 game in Cincinnati for the Reds Nationals, 2 games in Wrigley Field for the Cubs and Braves, and then you'll get to see another game in Chicago White Sox versus the Yankees. So another game thrown in there, so go check that out. That'll include the stadium tours, a city tour, and more. Give them a call today, 865-688-6232 for more details on their August 4th through 8th Motor Coach Tour.
That's awesome. 2 games at Wrigley. Sorry, this dryer in here is going nuts. Yeah, that's awesome. Go check that out. Make sure you get on that tour. It's gonna be a fun tour. Jordan Bone's a good one. Jordan Bone is a good one, Joey. Sorry, I didn't see that till just now. All right, most important of the week. I'll save that one. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna save that one because it's depending on your feelings, it could be a fail. So I don't want to cast any dispersions on anybody. Let's see here. Again, this is lack of social media. I do have 2 fails prepared, but I'm gonna have to find you a most important. What do you think about another game at Bristol Motor Speedway? Are you in or you out?
I'm out. I'm good.
I like that. I do want to give a most important. We talked about it a little bit on Thursday as it got released, but friend of the pod, former Vol, Thomas Edwards. He's a writer, musician now in Nashville. He has written a new single that is releasing this month. It's called "Running Through That T," and it is
Dude, banger.
I cannot wait to hear it in Neyland. And I don't know, man. I don't know if it's just because I'm not in Knoxville at the moment, but hearing it too is just like a little chill, chills. I'm sure I'd get similar feels in Knoxville, but now it's like, all right, I'm ready to be back.
Yeah, for sure.
So shout out to making a song that feels like home, dude.
It just, it does. It gave me some goosebumps. Yeah, shout out to him, and I mean, I know it's running through the T, but after third quarter song,
Friends in Low Places is so good. I'm sorry, I want to say yes, but it's just, to me, that's my people in Neyland.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I can make that change right now. Let me sleep on it. You hit me with that. I don't know. I don't think I can agree to that.
It's a lot to process.
It is. It's an absolute a lot. But shout out to Thomas Edwards. That song is awesome. I can't wait for it to release, and hoping we get to hear it live in Nashville.
Yeah,
I'm hoping we get to.
Yeah, we'll work on that. I do have one more most important.
Okay.
Ellie De La Cruz.
Golly, dude. Also, maybe a fail on the Brewers. That was bad.
That was bad. Stole second, stole third, and then as soon as he got up from third, just went on home. I mean, it looked like something like on Backyard Baseball where you just...
I don't even think you do that on video game because like your controller's going to mess up.
Well, yeah, like you try to get rundowns and eventually like make it, but...
It's a movie. Like that's something in a movie. That was incredible.
Yeah, it was like Benny the Jet Rodriguez.
I also love that he goes to the dugout and leaves his helmet on the field. He's like, "Nah, F it, I'm going to the dugout."
So I'm not picking that up. He's an electric factory for sure.
So are the Reds going to win the World Series?
Dude, I don't know.
Did you place that bet?
No, I didn't.
Maybe I didn't have the sound on. Explain your tweet. Every Alabama DB trying to cover Jalen Hyatt. Oh, I see it now.
Yeah, the guy pooped on himself. Yeah. And he's an Alabama player. It was J.D. Davidson.
Good for him.
Yeah, so maybe people didn't get it, but yeah.
Dude, I just watched that video of that bull again. That dude goes so that is incredible. I want to know how far, like, how edited is it?
Yeah, I'm really thinking on that people didn't watch the video. I think there are a lot like you who didn't watch it and they're like, "Oh, he did shit himself." That is funny.
Yeah, no, I watched it, but I guess I was just like watching, trying to see what happened within the play, like within the, and I missed that.
Yeah, dude.
I liked it still. Hey, I gave you the like.
Smells.
I feel like I had another most important. I've watched.
If somebody's, maybe that's a good thing to do. If you're trying to back somebody down when she's a guard, so I don't think you'd really have that.
Oh, I almost did that in 8th grade.
Shoot yourself
in a basketball game. I was like sick
for an advantage, or because you really had to shit.
Because I was like sick. Like it was. I can't remember if I had the flu or what, and like it was like
Joey. If you want to get in here too, you can. If you got some most importance.
It was like 3 days of illness, bad. Like one night I pooped my pants in my sleep. Like not like nasty, but like woke up and like I gotta wash your pants, brother. Like that kind of shit. And I was,
Davis.
Me and you, Landon, we were bench buddies. Like we sat on the very end.
Oh yeah, dude.
You know, we should have perfected our 3-ball, but unfortunately we didn't hit any.
We didn't get a chance.
We didn't get a chance.
We were about to knock.
We were shooting about 5%, and it just wasn't worth that 5% of the time. But he puts me in that game to guard some really fast kid that they had. And I mean, the entire time I'm just butt clenched. Like don't shit yourself.
I actually had a really good percentage.
I'm sure you did. You probably only got to shoot like maybe 10 times.
I was 5 for 13 from 3.
There you go. I was put in to play defense on the night I was shitting my pants. Underwear had to be cleaned after that game, real good. Probably thrown away. But yeah, it was bad. So I was close to like that. And we were at home, so we were in white. I was like, of course. Couldn't be wearing blue tonight. Yeah, it was brutal. I think I sat on the very end that night, just like, don't put me in. Don't put me in. And the one time all season I get in.
Dude, I remember we were at Whittle Springs and I was scared. I was just scared to death. It was the first game I've ever been in. And literally I get the ball on one possession and I was wide open. I was scared to death to shoot, so I just passed it. The next possession, the same thing happens, and they're like, shoot it. And I just shot it. And like I didn't even look at the rim. Like there's no way I was even looking. And I just shot out of like, I was nervous.
Immediate reaction.
I sunk it. And that was like
confidence. You heat check the next time down?
No, I didn't shoot again.
I wish I could remember these games. I don't remember them at all, except that one that I almost shit my pants. Just awkward memories. But yeah, that was 8th grade basketball, man. What a trip.
Mm-hmm.
What a trip. I was telling that story about that guy the other day.
Oh yeah, what a douche. Joey, you got any most important?
Yeah, I can't believe you guys haven't touched on it yet. Is there something you think you're missing?
I'm sure.
Oh, I mean,
I've probably forgotten a screenshot or something because that's where I keep my most
I
important.
can't believe you might have missed it. I mean,
The offensive glass, but yet getting a bunch of transition points. Here's Bryant.
first dunk of the WNBA season, baby. Let's go. 30th in the 27-year career. I don't know how you guys missed it. It happened over an hour ago. I mean,
who was that?
Good lead in.
Brittany Griner. Who else do you think it is, dude? Come on.
Wow.
Oh my!
It's the
merchant of
yeah,
death.
that's what I say. The merchant of death on the court. BG herself. Yeah, 27 years of WNBA. It's the 30th dunk, so we should be at 50. What?
20 years,
38, something like that.
That was Brittany Griner out dunked 50 times by herself.
I think she only has like 18. I think there's only. I mean, 18 out of 30 is pretty crazy if you really genuinely look
Candace
at the
Parker
stats.
probably has a few of those. I think she had the first dunk in women's college basketball.
Hell yeah.
Pretty sure.
So
like
riveting stuff. I got one more. I don't know if the video is gonna work. I don't know if you. Let me just try it really quick. It's just the most awesome. So in Alaska, since it doesn't get dark at this time of year, I guess, for fireworks on 4th of July, they just drive cars off cliffs, which is, I don't know, like where in Knoxville we can do this, but this has to be like
the quarry.
No more Boomsday. Let's just take it right off the edge, right into the Tennessee River. Like, let's just floor. Like, I'll put my car up. Honestly, if we get to do that with my car.
No, that's what we do with if it drives, we're 55 cars. That's where we take them.
Yeah,
we'll
Jason Ferris. If Jason
Jesus.
Ferris is for the people, you put those cars up on that mountain.
But
okay, were those people not sitting scary close to the edge of that?
There's a couple like that formatting was bad. Like in the full video, you can see there's some like at the bottom when they really crash, some shrapnel goes off, and these people are not super far away. Like
No.
I'm surprised no one's gotten clipped with like a side view mirror or something. Just like some kid.
I
That's
did watch
incredible.
that. I probably watched that 10 times when I saw that video. That was incredible.
I love they have Born in the USA playing too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see where Ireland celebrates 4th of July? Celebrates the United States Independence Day, which I thought. So I thought it was like an FU to the British because they hate the British. Turns out apparently they were just like, this looks like a fun holiday. We're gonna start celebrating it. Like it's just about getting drunk.
I was gonna say I just figured it was a reason for them to drink. I think the
Yeah.
Irish could probably use it. I mean, they probably have a bunch of holidays that.
I feel like that's their everyday though. They just get drunk, but
But you have an excuse. It's like,
yeah, that's true.
America
It is
gain their independence.
It is different. You're right. But yeah, I definitely thought it would be more of an FU to the British. That kind of shocked me that it was just out of drunkenness.
We should do that. We should get like 4 or 5 countries, and we get to make federal holidays out of their independence.
We've kind of done it. St. Patrick's Day.
It's true.
What's another one? What's another culture appropriated holiday we've done?
I know Cinco de Mayo is supposed to be, but it's actually not.
It's not a federal holiday.
The
Which
his-
is,
the-
I feel like
oh,
we
it's
should
not.
get on
Oh,
that.
yeah. I guess I was just thinking about holidays. Yeah, that should be federal. It's messed up.
If we're just going holiday, yeah, Cinco de Mayo is definitely in that category.
But I don't think that was the
sure.
actual independence. I think it's like, there's like I remember back in history class forever. It's like it's a janky holiday. It's basically like only our holiday at this point.
4th of July?
No, Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, Cinco de Mayo. Oh,
Yeah.
they don't celebrate at all in Mexico anymore?
They do. I think it's just like it's not
It's
their actual
not a
like independence. Like it's kind of gotten like rewritten.
It's like
now
a-
it's just like a drinking holiday in America.
yeah. It's like a Flag Day.
Yeah.
Okay. We should start really celebrating Flag Day. Let's do that this year.
Yeah.
Let's have a Flag Day party.
I
I
agree.
think it's Flag Day. I feel like it's like January.
No, it's like June. It was just recently. It was
Oh,
probably
is
like
it?
what June 8th.
Oh, it's June 14th. Good
June
call.
14th.
Yeah, we're going hard for Flag Day next year. Party at Landon's.
Let's do
Deal.
it. Yeah.
Everyone bring their favorite flag. And we'll just
Their
drink to
favorite
it.
flag.
Besides,
Okay.
well, yeah. I mean, everyone's gonna bring their American flag. You have to like exclude.
Not me.
Whoa,
It's not my favorite flag.
whoa, whoa.
Hey,
I'll let hey Twitter. I won't get involved.
okay. Speaking from a flag perspective, the United States flag does not go that hard. It doesn't.
I'm not. Nope. I'm not gonna get involved. I'm not gonna like. Yeah. Name it. What country's flag goes better?
I'm gonna pull them up because I've watched videos on country. and I
Caleb
remember
hates the
thinking,
Stars and Stripes.
These are sweet.
Kenny Powers would be very upset right now.
Zimbabwe. Is it Zimbabwe's flag? Zimbabwe's flag is sweet.
I mean,
You only like that because you like Zens. Next topic.
yeah. I bet you there's a Zen can on America's flag. Caleb
I'd
would
be,
be all over.
I'd be all in, baby. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying there's better.
You just said it
let's
doesn't go that hard. I mean, I feel like
Okay. All right. Sorry. It's in the number 1 tier.
That's
It's
Zimbabwe's flag.
That's Zimbabwe's.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was different. It's not that flag.
What is that bird?
South Africa's flag's pretty good too.
yeah, that looks like a weird carpet.
Brazil's flag goes hard.
Brazil has a cool flag, but
Brazil's
it's just
flag goes
I don't
hard.
know. I guess I'm just nothing's touching the old Stars and Stripes on for me.
Hey, clip that clip of Caleb.
It's
he's getting canceled tomorrow.
We want to talk about heat check.
Yeah,
This man's driving across the United States right
Jamaica-
now. and
Jamaica's-
he's just hating on the flag.
Jamaica's
Unreal.
flag is pretty solid too. I don't know how we could deny it.
Man,
Listen. Here's a problem too.
You probably
It's
hate
not-
the Tennessee flag too.
Oh, see, that I wasn't going to go into states. Tennessee's flag goes hard.
It's like, I mean, it's very similar to.
No,
It is.
Are you like an overall design guy, or are you someone that's like, oh, it's got like a cool? I mean, like, yeah, I think some states have like cool
I'm design
emblems.
I'm
you know?
design and meaning, which United States cool meaning definitely. I don't even know what the stripes are for. Why are y'all coming to me like this?
13 colonies.
Yeah, what?
I didn't know that.
I
He was-
did know that.
He's waiting on you, Joey.
No, I know
He
there
was
was 13
waiting on you.
colonies.
Canada's flag's
I'm a
cool.
huge geography guy. What do you mean?
Canada's flag's cool. United States is probably above Canada's. I'll say that. And I think Canada's is a pretty dope flag.
It's just a leaf.
It's a beautiful leaf. It's a maple leaf.
I mean,
We got 50
Yeah.
freaking stars on ours, baby.
yeah. All right, next episode, since we have earned the dog days of summer,
Listen.
we're just gonna rank all 50 states flags,
Yeah.
and then the next
Dude,
one we'll do however.
Have
many
you
countries there
have
are.
you looked at the states flags? There are some terrible states.
Oh, there's some brutal ones. We can do license plates too. We can.
Well, aren't
we
there
might have
some that are like
content
the
to sell.
same thing?
What do you mean?
Isn't Mexico's flag and maybe Portugal?
They're like, yeah, they just flop the colors. I
No,
think, like the
Italy's
stripes.
is similar to Mexico's, except Mexico has an emblem in it,
Hmm.
and then there's another one. I think that's like France, maybe, but it's horizontal stripes instead of vertical stripes. Which I like France's flag. France has a great flag.
Alabama's flag sucks.
I can imagine. Not a lot of creativity flowing through that state.
It's probably the top mind in Alabama that came up with that one.
But I also wasn't just talking about like, you could have like a Tennessee flag, not state of Tennessee, like a checkerboard flag.
That's so
Yeah, dude, that just screams racist.
you're getting you're teetering a little close there too.
Speaking
They
of
didn't really
red,
change
white, and
much.
blue, Somebody just sent me this video, so I do want to mention it. David Ross, the manager for the Cubs, is arguing a call today between the Yankees and the Cubs. And he tells the umpire, he says, you got one GD game before you get a break, and you're that effing bad already.
Love that.
This is in the bottom of the first inning, and he's already on him.
Awesome.
I'm looking up best flags now. North Macedonia, cool flag. You can Google it if you'd like. I'm disagreeing with this. Tanzania, great flag. Oh, Wales does have a cool flag. It's got a dragon on it.
Okay, Washington State flag is just a picture of George Washington, which is kind of hard. Like, that's pretty cool. But still, it's like...
It's pretty interesting for a guy that never went to
was
Washington or anywhere near Washington.
Wasn't even relevant, I don't think. Did it exist when he was alive?
No, it certainly didn't.
That's cheap.
Slovakia's flag's pretty good.
Yeah, we got to move on.
Do we? I
tweeted
really
fails
like flag talk
7 minutes ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, depending on what side of the aisle you're on here, could be a most important. Live Tour. They're bringing back what are those things called? The
Flash mob.
The flash mobs.
I've got the video loaded if you want.
Play it. Hit play. I mean, go back. Oh, you didn't get to.
Sorry.
You didn't know. There's like this one. God, you got to go. Have you seen it, Landon?
I've seen that, yeah.
Where the girl's just like straddling that dude's head at one point.
It wouldn't let me upload it like when it was like the full like 35 seconds, so I cut it down. But yeah, he like swings around. When I watched that, I just think like it's the place. Like flash mobs are corny already, but like
oh yeah, even worse on the first tee.
I saw the angle. I thought like, oh, it's like, like near the tee box. No, like they shut like Patrick Reed and Cam Smith are sitting up on the tee box.
Oh, I wish it was
like, dude, they're just sitting there like, and then like the flash mob clears and it's like first on the tee and it's like, dude, if I would DQ or withdraw right away. Like there's the most absurd. So they're reaching heavy. Sorry to steal your face.
That's bad. That's so bad. I mean, they were bad in 2011. I can't believe I watched so many of those videos, but they're even worse now. I didn't know people knew those existed. I just want to know. I want to know who was like, "This is what we should do," and they should be fired yesterday.
It's probably Greg Norman. This is probably he's basically not involved anymore.
He just found out. He's just got on YouTube for the first time, and that was one of like must watch videos with some flash mob from 2011. And
yeah, exactly. He's telling his people, "I've got the next big thing. We're gonna save Liv."
This is gonna go mega viral, and did. Credit to him. Not on the right way, but it did go viral.
Dude, Pat Fitzgerald fell.
I mean, I'm just going Northwestern in general.
Yes. Oh my God. I mean,
if you like watching, this has nothing to do with Pat Fitzgerald. If you encourage two guys to get butt naked and then do an exchange, which involves putting your hand up another dude's ass, I'm not like, if you're gay, that's cool. But you're gay. Like that is like you are at that point. I just want to make that clear. That is, if you wanted to watch that, if you encourage that and then force them to do that, number one, sexual harassment. Number two, you're into dudes. Like that's just that simple. And then, yeah, it's insane.
The worst part is people defending it. It's like, it's not sexual harassment. It's just two dudes totally consensually putting hands in naked places that are totally like.
Well, also, like, how do you brainwash these players to like enforce these rules?
Like, there's a level that the seniors went through 3 years at Northwestern, and then they got there and they're like, oh my God, I cannot wait to just dry hump a bunch of freshmen. Like, that's insane. That is insane.
Yeah, they said they were forced to strip naked and do performing various acts, which I think is a funny way to say that. But it says, including bear crawling and slingshotting themselves across the floor with exercise bands.
I do want to know what that means. What is slingshotting?
Freaking slinging themselves across
all I can
the
imagine
room.
is Blue Mountain State and like lathering each other up in like lube and just going across like a concrete floor. That's all I can picture.
Do we need like Hard Knocks for this or something?
Yeah, for sure.
I want to see it, but I don't want to see it. But I like have to see it now. Like I
I
can't
just-
imagine
and
that visual.
apparently
Draw a
they-
diagram of it for me. That's it.
like, like a
apparently
court
they-
drawing.
Yeah. They would make, I guess, freshmen like walk to the shower, and like to get to the shower, they had to rub up against another naked person. I'm
yeah,
just like,
that's
what is
weird.
wrong
That's
with
weird.
you?
That's so weird.
It's also such a bombshell. Like that is.
Yeah, Friday
Hey,
news dump for sure.
How did we not get a video of that on Twitter?
It's
Like,
like not only are we about to go like freaking 4-8, but now we have to freaking do naked snap exchanges and get freaking slung across the room with exercise bands.
I want to know how many like bad quarterback center exchanges have happened over the years, so we can just blame it on that. Well, if he did it with pants on, if his balls weren't in the way,
Maybe
It's
they
a
got
whole
really good
different-
at it.
yeah.
hey, maybe they might have. I don't know.
But I'm just so curious, how far are they slinging these people with exercise bands?
They have like a little what's the like gym carts you used to use, the colored ones too underneath them. And they just,
Yeah.
It's
walk
like
around.
Oh,
that
yeah.
bull video of Jeremy Banks. Like it's like, where did he go?
Oh my god.
I mean, that is just, and then Northwestern suspends Pat Fitzgerald for 2 weeks, and with no pay, by the way, which is like pretty uncommon in that kind of stuff. And they're like, yeah, he had nothing to do with it. Why did you suspend him? What is going on? And my favorite one was Darren Ravel, who was like, I've known him for 20 something years. I'm going to wait for more evidence. It's like, I mean, that's fine if you want to wait for more evidence, but you don't need to tweet about it, brother.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
gone.
like when I was reading this stuff, it's unreal. It says like if players were selected for running, they'd be restrained by 8 to 10 upperclassmen dressed in various purge-like masks who would then begin dry humping the victim in a dark locker room.
Dude, this is like,
I
yeah,
don't
that is
know.
insane.
This isn't hazing. This is like a freaking weird.
This is a cult, like a cult ritual.
Yeah,
This is
no,
a
one
cult
dude got
ritual.
off to it and like just took it out of proportion. Like, and people are looking around like, you're
He watched
really into this.
He watched Blue Mountain State, and unlike most people are like, that's funny because it's in a movie. He's like, let's put it in real life. And I guess everyone was it had to be a big dude because everyone was too afraid to be like, this is too far.
Yeah.
In all reality, that's probably like what happened. These guys are probably like in the age of like kind of watching Blue Mountain State.
Yeah.
Like 10 years from now, it's gonna be funny if I do this. And it's like, no,
No,
not
no.
in real life.
Hey, that was in a movie. Like, that was
a
a
cookie.
that was a written script, my friend. Or a TV show, I guess, for a while. Movie was good too, by the way, which is not usually what happens. Wasn't it? Blue Mountain State was turned into a movie. Am I thinking of the right thing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's truly incredible. And you mentioned someone said something about a phone. It is shocking there's not a single video out yet. So honestly, I mean, credit to Northwestern players for just living in the moment. Like no phones.
Yeah, especially like I mean, who was it with the volleyball team that got like
Wisconsin.
Oh well, that was on them. Yeah, they were just like
Right,
posting
but there
it,
was
like
a
on
phone.
Snapchat. That's true. There were phones involved. Classic Gen Zers.
I guess in a dark room, I guess you couldn't see who was getting dry humped.
Big Ten is having a rough go of it. I forgot about the Wisconsin volleyball situation. At least they won. They won. They were celebrating a national championship, right? Or at least like a Big Ten championship.
I don't know.
All right, at least they had something to celebrate.
I don't know.
They won something. I remember a trophy in one of the pictures.
Landon Allen said if Caleb isn't a fan of USA's flag, he really won't like Liberia's flag.
I know, it looks identical. It's insane. Liberia's is ugly. United States, like I said, tier 1.
Tier 1? You just said there was nothing great about it.
I didn't say that.
God tier and then tier 1.
I said it doesn't. I incorrectly said it doesn't go hard. It does go hard.
Okay, it
I
does
lied.
go hard.
It goes hard. I just think there are flags that are also really good that I would love to see at our Flag Day celebration next year. That's all I meant.
You sound like you're backpedaling.
I am.
Oh,
I'm having a backpedal.
1000% backpedal.
I'm having a backpedal, but I'm also on like one of those tandem bikes, and I've got 2 people pedaling super hard for me forward, and I'm trying to fight it. And I am backpedaling. Yes, 100%.
Well, the backpedaling is not going in the clip on Twitter. I'll tell you that right now. We're just going to go straight up.
fine.
Yeah,
what was said.
Sure.
That's
That's-
fine. I
There's
will
too
have,
much in between to cut. So
I'll
we're
have
good.
spotty
Yeah.
service, so anybody that tags me or says anything bad about me, I won't even see it for a couple days. So it'll be fine.
There you go. We'll just screenshot it.
Any more fails?
I think that's it. We covered it Northwestern.
I actually got one more. It's Bob Huggins.
Oh, I
Actually,
forgot
he's
about
West
this one, too.
Virginia.
Well, and maybe a little bit of Bob Huggins too.
Right. But they took his resignation from a text from his wife?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh,
His
interesting.
wife texted his resignation.
Yeah.
Did you see his daughter release like a big thing? I think it was on Facebook about the situation. She was like, "You guys don't know anything. He's not an alcoholic." Like just this big thing.
Is this not
The
his
guy sits on
second
a
or
stool.
third
He's definitely
DUI?
alcoholic.
It's at least a second DUI.
I'm not sure how many,
At least in his coaching tenure. I don't know how many before that. I mean, we could be talking.
but usually the first DUI like isn't like you don't know what city or state you're in, and also like cans of beer in your car. That's usually not your first. Usually.
Oh, the guy literally sits on a bar stool all game long.
That's true.
He's an alcoholic.
Accurate.
Yeah, it's only
I
two
do.
listed, but it's got to be more than that.
I love that he's trying to get back in it though. Which I mean, apparently a lot of the players were very upset.
A text from your wife is
He's probably hammered.
Is binding. I just don't understand.
He probably thought it was his phone. He's probably like, it's my phone. At least
That's
he got
insane.
yeah.
I wasn't aware of that revelation.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Did he notes app it, or was it was a text? I guess.
It was a text. He screenshot and notes app. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. From his wife.
Yeah. That's crazy.
All right. Well, that's it. Don't
All right.
go to
It's been fun.
Northwestern.
Hey, we do got to give one more shout out too. But this is for you guys. Roback.
Roback, baby.
We have a code at Roback. It's more important issues, all caps, no spaces.
No spaces.
No spaces. It is for your first time purchase of 20% off.
Mhm.
You can create a new email though. If you've already purchased from Roback, don't worry. Use this 20% off. I recommend getting the orange shirt. Do you have it around, Landon?
I can grab it.
Run and grab it real quick. Landon just bought it. It looks great. Go get it from Roback. You can get whatever you want, but I highly recommend getting this. Working on getting some other Tennessee merch in the Roback store. Right now, celebrate that Orange Bowl a little late. It's also got orange on it. That's pretty cool. It's a good summer wear, golf course summer wear. It's beautiful. Roback, 20% off. Code more important issues. I don't know if it's case sensitive, but let's go all uppercase. No spaces. Go to Roback right now. Roback.com. Code more important issues. Landon went and changed. He's modeling it for you. He's officially a freelance model.
Whoa. Look at that thing.
Yes, sir.
It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Did you wear it? No, you didn't. You had another cool shirt on Friday on the golf course.
Yeah. Raven
wearing
hates
that
that
next-
shirt.
Really? You wearing that next week?
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, and it's got the
The beautiful stripe on the back. There it is.
White stripe.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're working on getting more, but go ahead and use the code now, buy that shirt, and then make another email and use the code again later for another shirt. That's what we do.
It is all caps, by the way, to clarify Caleb's point.
Perfect. All caps.
More important issues.
Do it. Go to Roback right now. Get that. Thank you all. It's been fun.
Yep.
I'm sorry about my American flag comment. I love the US of A. I have a Speedo with the American flag on it, Landon. Do you?
Well, I mean, obviously that Speedo doesn't go hard.
Something in it does.
Okay, all right. Let's get out of here, Northwestern. Guys, thanks again for listening. Have a good week. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.